let's talk about some billionaires who just lost a shit ton of money last week with Donald Trump's tariffs plan. This one's going to have like three or four parts to it. So there's a podcast called the All In podcast. With It's got four incredibly wealthy Silicon Valley tech guys who have conversations each week. David Friedberg, David Sachs, Jason Calacanis, and a guy named his first name is Chamath. His last name starts with a P, and I am not even going to begin to try to pronounce it. They're all incredibly wealthy. I think at least three of the four are billionaires. And when January 6th happened, 2021, they did a podcast within a few days, and they were like, this is disqualifying for Donald Trump. This is it. This is the end of the road. This is absolutely heinous and horrendous. This should never have happened. It's disgusting. Donald Trump is now disqualified from ever holding the presidency ever again. Fast forward to 2024, they all voted for Donald Trump. They all endorsed him publicly. They all attended a fundraiser at the home of co host David Sachs here in San Francisco for Donald Trump. David Sachs is now Donald Trump's crypto czar. So they were all very public in their support for Trump leading up to the election. And Tim Miller on the Bulwark podcast, he pointed out how hypocritical this is. Basically, like throughout Biden's presidency, they were still under Trump's tax plan from 2017, almost all the benefits of which went to guys like these four guys who became incredibly wealthier during Joe Biden's presidency. Biden didn't regulate these guys into oblivion. They experienced basically absolutely nothing negative economically or to their businesses during Joe Biden's presidency. And Tim Miller played the audio from their podcast in the days following January 6, 2021, where they said this is disqualifying, da 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 da. And Tim Miller was like, these guys are fucking hypocrites. They're hypocrites. Well, the one guy, Jason Calacanis, took issue with that. Tim invited him on the podcast. They had a conversation for about an hour. And when I say that Tim did an excellent job in interviewing him, didn't have to be confrontational with this guy at all, didn't have to cross-examine him or get tough with him. With just some gentle prodding, Jason Calacanis said that basically his problem with the Biden administration and his fear of a Kamala Harris presidency was bad vibes. Bad vibes. Joe Biden didn't like them enough, and Kamala Harris didn't like them enough. They weren't nice enough to these guys. They did nothing negative to these guys. These guys became unimaginably wealthier during Joe Biden's presidency, and that would have continued into Kamala Harris's presidency if it would have ever happened. But they weren't nice enough to us, was his entire argument. And when Tim got that out of him, even Tim was like, okay, wow. And I remember listening to that, and I'm like, that guy just fucking said that out loud. He just said that out loud. And I saw a clip from this week's episode of their All In podcast, and Jason Calacanis was talking about all of the absolutely horrible things that China and the Chinese government are going to do to American companies and the intellectual property of American companies in retaliation to Donald Trump's tariffs. And all of these guys just lost hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars in wealth because Kamala Harris was not nicer to them. The billionaire class, and specifically the billionaire tech class, are the most fragile snowflake little toddlers you can possibly imagine. Their kryptonite is criticism of any kind. And now, if you're not nice enough to them, even if they haven't deserved it, they're going to actively put someone in office who's going to rat fuck every single person in this country, including them. If they would have voted for Kamala Harris, they would still be making money today. They wouldn't have lost a dime over the last 3 months, over the last week. They wouldn't have lost a dime. They voted for Trump, and now they've lost hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. Their companies have lost billions of dollars in market cap, and now the entire business environment for them, the investing environment for them, and the business environment for their companies globally is up in the air because Kamala Harris wasn't nice enough to them. Fragile, bitchy little white men. It just, what the fuck, man?